in the bluegrass state where racehorses run and the Wildcats play, Kentucky. We got big city lights and Harlan coal mines, hills running 190 proof moonshine, Kentucky. And you might think we're a different breed, we got everything we need. From the Bourbon Trail to the Bible Belt, the Cumberland River to the Eastern Hills, sun's going down on tobacco fields in Kentucky. Where the sweat on your brow and your calloused hands is the only way we measure man. Divided we fall and united we stand, Kentucky.
Hey everybody!
Hello!
So for today's adventure, we are in Menifee County, Kentucky. We're just outside of Fitchburg, a little bit north of the Red River Gorge area. In our last video, it's like we ended our video at a waterfall, and I decided today, why not start our adventure at a waterfall? So we're going to go check out a waterfall. It's called Broke Leg Falls, and then we're going to do a little bit of arch hunting after that. So stay with us.
It's going to be a great day.
Going to be a great day. It's a beautiful day. It's going to be sunny and about 80 degrees. So
perfect.
We're going to show you some cool stuff. So stay with us.
Thank you.
Well, we started to go down to check out Broke Leg Falls, but as you can see from the rocks here that are completely dry, the water source for Broke Leg Falls, it's pretty much empty. So there's not really a waterfall. There's no water coming down at all. There's nothing feeding it. It's been an incredibly dry summer. There was a little bit of rain that came through from Hurricane Helene when it hit, but it's not a total bust, because right here above the stairs there's this absolutely incredible overlook here, and there's a little bit of fall color starting to pop, so it's not a total loss, but doesn't look like we're going to see much flow today, with the fact that the water is pretty much all dried up. But we'll definitely come back here another time and hopefully be able to see the fall. So we're in Menifee County, and we are just past the Menifee County Park, and along this ridge back here there are several arches that we're going to try to find. We have coordinates for many, some big ones and some smaller ones, but some have a trail and some don't, so it'll be interesting to see what we can find today. But this road, we parked quite a ways back before we started hiking through here. So there's a spot back off of this road where there's a cell tower you can park, and you can actually go down the road a little bit further, and there's another spot where you can park. There's about a spot for maybe 2 or 3 vehicles, but this road, unless you've got a very, very well lifted truck, I would not recommend trying to go too far past the available parking spots, because, okay, I don't know how well this shows up in the video, but it's very rocky, and I wouldn't recommend taking any vehicles through here unless you've got the suspension made to do this, because it's hard enough to hike on it. I can't even imagine taking a vehicle through here, but we're going to go try to find these arches, and when we get to our first arch, we'll show you what we find. Stay with us. So we just found our first arch of the day. We believe this one is called Predator Arch. At least it's according to my GPS coordinates. It's a very rocky area that it's in, so there might be more right here, but as far as I know, this is called Predator Arch. Never seen a picture of it, but it's small, but it's pretty neat. And as you can see, there's like two tiny little windows right to the left of it. But the bigger opening is more than big enough to make it an official arch. It's over 3 feet across, so it's a neat little find. So we just found our second arch of the day. This one is called Rock Pile, and kind of looks like that you could crawl through it, and we're going to attempt to do that here in just a second so we can kind of see it from the other side. But the trail going around this big rock right here, like right here from the other side, looks like it's a pretty good drop. So looks like if you want to see the other side of it, the only way to get through it, or to get to it, is to crawl through it. So we're going to do that here in just a second. Okay, so I am crawling through Rock Pile Arch, and this opening is probably, I would guess, it's probably about 2.5 feet wide, maybe 3 feet, but I doubt it, because you can't even duck walk through it. Only way you're getting through this is to crawl. But you can kind of see even Jeannie's like inside this little shelter.
Bigger
it kind of looks like this would have been like maybe like a collapsed rock shelter at one point. But the name is Rock Pile, and I guess maybe it gets its name because there are little rocks there, and there's a second opening of the arch right over here. So I guess in a certain sense, this is kind of like a double arch. But pretty neat. I'm gonna get through here though and take pictures from the other side so you can see it. So this is the hole that we just crawled through. That's the actual arch. That's Rock Pile Arch. And the second window is over here, and I'm gonna try to squeeze up in here so you can see the opening on that too. So this is the second opening on Rock Pile, and I'm down on my knees. That's the only way I could really see it, but when I was crawling through the main opening, I could see light to the second opening. So there you go. That's another opening for Rock Pile Arch.
Here is Rob crawling through the suspiciously small arch. He's getting her.
Easier said than done.
Yeah, he's getting her. It's a pretty small opening, but we made it through.
And that's how you crawl through an arch. Okay, I did want to show you the trail. The trail going back to this arch is pretty nice. You can tell that it's been used quite a bit, and rightfully so. This arch has been photographed quite a few times, but I've never been here. Neither has Jeannie. But the strange thing about it is that we're out in the woods, and there is no cliff lines to be seen. There's just like a big hollow on both sides of this little ridge that we're walking down on this trail, and all of a sudden you'll come up to the arch, and we'll show you that in just a minute. But it makes no sense how this arch got where it is, but we're coming up on it, so we'll show it to you. So if anybody can figure out how this big slab of sandstone got out here in the middle of the woods, I certainly don't have any idea how, but this arch is called Devil's Market House. Now, like I said, we're not the first people here. This thing has been photographed several times, and it's like a whole arch complex. There's a window up there. There's a little window down there. I don't think that hole right there is all the way through, but this is just a magnificent structure. Absolutely one of the coolest arches that we've ever been to, by all means.
I don't know what he is.
So, another little new find. We found a little friend here. Little snake popped his head outside of one of the slots inside of Devil Market House. I mean, he stood so still that I wasn't even sure if he was alive. He's not stuck his tongue out one little bit. I have no idea what kind of snake he is. He's not a copperhead or anything like that, but I'm not going to get too close in case he's poisonous, but yeah, he just stuck his head out. And I'm like, oh, there's a snake right there. Surprise, surprise. That's a first. So, me and Jeannie, we've been on another hike earlier this year. It was through Leave No Trace Adventures. It's called the Arch Overload Tour. And there's an arch there that is somewhat similar to this one called the Golden Cathedral. But this, I gotta say, this might be one of my favorite arches of all time, just because you look along this. I mean, look at the geology all through the rocks. You've got windows. You got down here, this whole area through here, it's big enough to walk through. I mean, right here, you have another window. You got little tiny windows right there. There's another window down there where you can see the light through. I mean, this thing is absolutely awesome. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy that we finally came to see this. How cool. Here's Johnny! It's October and it's close to Halloween, so why not a random Shining reference? Okay, so we heard some voices. So there's more people that are heading down the trail to come to the market house. So I just wanted to give you one last look at Devil Market House Arch. So we're on our way to the next arch that kind of is up along this ridge line. But you know, as we're walking through here, you know, the trail is nice. I don't know if this is like an old logging road or what this is, but there's lots of pops of fall color. It's not at 100% of the color change yet, but you know, just looking at the trees, I mean, you see like little pops of orange and yellow, and up along the edge of this trail, like little sections of huge rock areas, but it's very, very scenic. So it's really nice fall hike, although it is definitely not fall temperatures today. It's pretty warm, although we do have a very awesome breeze blowing through, which gives us a little bit of reprieve every once in a while. But we're on our way to the next arch, and we'll show it to you when we get there. Be there in a few. So, if you want to visit these arches that we're doing today, I would say make sure you do it on a very dry day, because there's plenty of hills, and if I'm sounding like I'm out of breath, I am, because I'm out of shape. But these hills through here are pretty steep, so if you're not used to it, just make sure you come on a dry day and you'll be fine. It's not hard to get up them while it's dry with a trekking pole, but if this was wet and muddy, it'd be not so much fun. So just a fair warning. So we just made it to our fourth arch of the day. This is called Spratt's Arch. It might actually be called Kentucky 122 or 121, I can't remember. I know it's one of the numbered arches of the 155 or 156, whatever the original numbering were, but this is Spratt Arch. There's a fantastic breeze that blows through this opening, which is really refreshing. But right up here, Jeannie's on top. Hey. But our fourth arch, Spratt's Arch. So on the back side of Spratt's Arch, there's a bunch of little windows. Now, I don't think that these are big enough to be a true arch, but there's a little small one there, and there's a little tiny one there, but pretty neat. Just three little small windows on the back side of this arch. So if you come up this well-defined trail up the hill, past Devil's Market House. I think it's probably about a half a mile past. To the left, as you get to the top of this hill, you will find a faint but very navigable user trail that'll take you over to Spratt's Arch. I mean, and from this point, it's probably only a tenth of a mile, maybe 2/10, like right off of the main trail. So that one, there's really no bushwhacking involved. It's pretty easy to get to, and very worth it. It's big. It's really nice. So definitely worth checking out if you come to Devil's Market House. So on our way to looking for Jack's Arch, the roadbed that takes you to pretty much up to Spratt's Arch, it makes a right-hand turn and curves around, and then it comes pretty much to an abrupt end where there's nothing but a couple of deer blinds up there. So we started bushwhacking, and we came along this ridge line, and Jeannie looked over the hillside, and she's like, I think I see another arch down there. So we bushwhacked our way down this hill right here and came up to this area where there's like this whole big sandstone conglomeration through here. It's over the edge of the ridge, so it's kind of hard to see, but there is a window that's in there. But Jeannie just got up and measured it, and it's like 32 inches. So unfortunately, it's not an official arch, but it's still pretty neat. But
We thought it was.
yeah, it's not big enough yet, but it might be over time. But it's not today. But nothing ventured, nothing gained. Just a few inches from where Jeannie was standing, up where that little window is, we just found a second window that goes all the way through. But again, it's just a window. It's not big enough to be a full arch, but still, it's a pretty neat thing to see. And there's the area where the arch is. It's hollow in the back, and it's hollow there on the left-hand side, but just not big enough. So we may not have found an official arch, but to get to this cliff face, there's this huge rock, and this huge rock has got like a big opening underneath it, and it has these iron deposits that almost look like
Iron tubes.
Yeah, like iron tubes. It's the strangest geology I've seen on a rock yet.
I've never seen these tube things.
But it's really super cool. So, hey, bushwhacking down here wasn't a total loss because this is a pretty neat thing to see. So, when we came over this ridge, we saw the big wall, and I don't know how well you could see it on this video because there's a lot of trees in the way. But Jeannie saw the light opening, but yeah, it just wasn't our day today. But it was still pretty fun to go down there and see the boulder with the strange iron deposits. So, but man,
And our little non-arch.
it about sapped our strength coming back up, climbing through that roto and bushwhacking through there. So I think we are going to head back to the truck instead of looking for Jack's Arch today. But our adventure may not be over, so stay with us. I just wanted to show you the hike on the way back to our truck. I mean, this is absolutely gorgeous.
Beautiful back here.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day, and like I said earlier, the fall colors are starting to come in, but it's not at 100% yet, but it's starting to get there. So just a beautiful fall hike back here. Totally worth it. Hey everybody.
Hi.
So we actually forgot to do a trailer
Oops.
after we got done hiking, but man, we're not gonna lie. This one kicked our butts today.
That last arch that we tried to find, we found that little arch. Oh my goodness, it was straight up and straight down. Like it was a lot. And roto, we like had to fight our way through.
So we had like 700, maybe close to 800 feet in elevation change today, and hiked about 5 miles. And after we came up from that last little window that we found, we were dead.
And it was straight up all the way to the back to the car, to the truck. It was
I think so.
Pretty much straight up.
So I mean, so if you hike all the way to Spratt's, so going up to Spratt's is pretty much uphill, that whole path through there, and then so past Spratt's, it kind of goes back down a ridge. So we came up over the hill from that arch with the crazy elevation, and then had to go uphill
again
to get to the flat part of the road, to go downhill, and then from the intersection where Devil's Market House is at, it's pretty much all uphill from there.
Yeah,
so
it was crazy. At the last, we were like,
so by the time we got back to the truck, we were dead. But
yeah, we knew.
But we saw some great stuff today.
That was gorgeous.
It's like, hope you enjoy the arches, and as always, get out and hike. Have a great week, everybody.